What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Banner Report podcast. I am your host, Cody Adams, and I am here with Jacob Pierce and Steve Crowley. We are coming to you live on January 14th, 2025. Happy MLK Day to everybody out there early. Obviously, we're early. That's next week, but you won't hear from us in between then. So happy MLK Day to everybody around the nation. Guys, we're in the dog days of the NBA season. Celtics have lost 3 of their last 4 after a roaring start. How are we feeling this week?
Every team goes down to a schneid every once in a while, especially around this time of year. I mean, we watched the Thunder go 6-6 at one point, and they're the defending champions. Like, this team's been playing above its head for a long time. 3 out of 4. It was bound to happen at some point. I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah, and realistically, should have been 2-2. If we had Jaylen last game, like against the Pacers, we easily win that. So it's kind of showing some of our weaknesses of size and such. Playing a team like the Spurs, and then Jaylen needing to rest against the Pacers is just, we definitely showing some trade. I mean, we have Tatum coming back, which will help the energy for Brown, but we definitely could use some size. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, since you last heard from us, we've lost 105 to, 90 against the Spurs and 98 to 96 against the Pacers. Last minute bucket by Siakam there, and it's been a rough stretch, probably the roughest skid in a bit for the Celtics team, and the locker room's a little bit amped up. You got Jaylen Brown very much in the NBA news, calling out the refs, begging for a fine, and then subsequently receiving a $35,000 fine. And then Pascal Siakam hits a game winner off of an illegal screen that he set that was missed by the refs, and Joe Mazzulla finishes up his post-game presser after that game, answering every single question with illegal screen, illegal pick, and not giving any other answers. So there's a lot to talk about here. Obviously, it's a mix. I think it's a mix of, I guess we'll address it. Is there a bias against the Celtics this season in particular? What are we doing wrong, if anything, to not get the same calls that everybody else in the league is getting? Or is it just prominent because they came on 2, games that were close and you lost in the last 5 minutes? Is there something more indicative here of the Celtics team, maybe regressing back and exposing some of their flaws, or is it a bias, or is it more realistically probably both?
I think it might be a little bit of both. I mean, it's kind of hard. I mean, you look at the numbers, we shoot the fewest free throws in the league, like one of the
30th in free throw attempts.
But also, if you look at our 3-point attempt rate, it's probably the highest. So you're going to shoot less free throws when you take more jump shots. That's just kind of what it is. Now, end of game, not getting those calls, that could be, Jaylen doesn't get the superstar whistle that other guys do. That could be part of it. He's kind of our creator at the end of the games. He should be shooting a lot more free throws, I feel like, the way he drives to the basket. I don't know if he's one of the highest drives to the basket guys, but he's pretty high up there, I feel. And he should be getting a little bit better of a whistle, but like going to the podium and just begging for a fine and getting 35, which is usually 25 because you were that loud about it, like, it's not helping your case. They're not going to say, oh, he was mean to us when he talked to the media, so we're going to blow the whistle for him. Like, no, they're probably going to blow the whistle less for you now. Like, that's just what it is. Joe Mazzulla going up to the podium and saying illegal screen for all of his answers, like, it doesn't help you in the long run. It kind of makes you look soft. Like, at the end of the day, like, complaining about refs as a professional athlete makes you look soft. Like, you got to win that game. There's 100 other things you could have done to not be tied with the Pacers at the end of the game where an illegal pick changes the game.
It was the last play, essentially, of the game.
More than you that game either. You both only shot 7 free throws. Like, both teams shot 7 free throws, which was a record for both teams. So it wasn't like, oh, the Pacers are getting all the calls. We're not getting any of the calls. So it just kind of looks bad when back-to-back games you're going, actually, it's been like a week or 2 of Jaylen doing this, and then now Joe doing it too. Like, those are your leaders of the team. Like, you need to, like, lock in. Hey, the refs didn't lose the game for us. We lost the game. Like, I'd like to see a little more accountability on our parts on those ones.
Here are the facts. So, Jaylen Brown, he aired out the officials after the 95 to 100 loss against the Spurs. He cited the free throw disparity. Brown attempted 0 in that game, and the Celtics as a team only attempted 4, whereas the Spurs got 20. So it's a genuine gripe. What the hell are they doing? There's just definitely not reciprocity or equality in the calls there. Now, obviously, the Spurs, they're big, and the game sort of shifted when they went the double big lineup and took over, and Wemby took over the game and beat us. We didn't have an answer for that with Cornette out there. But, I think that's a valid gripe. Brown drove 54 times in the losses against the Nuggets and the Spurs, but drew only one shooting foul, which is significantly lower than his rate of 8.9%. There's validity to his claims, but the Pacers came in particular. They shot like 26% from three, and the Pacers shot 10 percentage points better, and obviously you didn't have Jaylen Brown in there, and you couldn't close out down the stretch with the boards, and your flaws get exposed. But they did lose the game on the last bucket, and the 2-minute report exonerated Missoula, proved him right. They said they missed a call, so there is a mix of both. But I don't know. It's just, I kind of agree with what you're saying, Steve, that it kind of makes you seem a little like crybaby-ish. But when players do this, obviously they're not going to they didn't receive many more calls the next game. And they probably won't going forward. But maybe this puts a little bug in the ear of the refs and the officiating crews going forward to kind of get this shit together. I feel like that could kind of be something so blatant in public like that. That has to be what Jaylen Brown is trying to do. He called out the ref for the Spurs game in particular. I forget what his name was, but he shit on him, said he was terrible tonight. And that's embarrassing.
Yeah, the ref mafia won't be too happy, that's for sure. Yeah, I mean, if it results in better things, like better officiating for us, then sure. But yeah, I hope it's more of a blip and we kind of go more, like we've gotten our frustrations out, and I hope we go more the accountability route now. But because you're right, it seems it's more blatant for Jaylen. Like our play style in general won't get many free throws for anyone else on the team, but I feel like Jaylen's driving, and it's been pretty rough with his whistle, I'd say. But no, otherwise on our team, we just don't draw opportunities for. If you think about how the rest of our team plays around Jaylen, like no one else is really drawing many fouls other than him, which adding Jason will be great for that. But we just aren't a team structurally that will get a lot of free throws. So it does make sense. Maybe not 30th, but us being bottom 5 of that does not surprise me at all. So maybe, I mean, we've been doing really well with our very flawed team. So it's not like we should change it up entirely. Like maybe our play style is the only thing that's keeping us where we are in the top 4 seeds. So like, you know what I mean? Like maybe we just don't have the talent to be slashing like that, but it makes sense, our low free throw numbers with how we're made. But then you do see Jaylen drives where you're like, okay, that should have been a call. You know what I mean? But no one else on the team do I think they should be getting more calls than they are. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
Can't think of it.
no, there's not a lot of guys who drive. Like Jordan Walsh is not a driving kick guy. Hugo's not. I guess Derek White would be the closest.
Yeah.
And Pritchard is not. He's too good at creating. He focuses on creating the space, not initiating the contact.
Yeah. Like he
Well,
gets
we
the
got, like,
paint, but it's all little. He does little jump shots in the paint.
Yeah, like he'll bump a defender and then just spin on a pivot foot and hit a fadeaway from 10 feet out. Derek White never gets calls. He's never got them. Jaylen leads the team with 7.2 per game, but he's not getting them. So, like I said, there's some truth to both. The Celtics definitely did enough on their own to lose both games, and their end of game flaws, especially the Spurs game, where they rolled out Cornette and Wemby, and it was just game over, and you had no answer. Obviously, that's going to get alleviated when you add a 6'10" guy like Tatum, but maybe there's a fix there on the trade market that we could talk about. Get a big there because we're one of the worst teams, especially in the clutch, if not the worst team in the clutch at closing out defensive possessions. I had the facts here.
Like 28th in defensive rebound percentage, I believe, in the clutch, right?
15th in offense, 28th in defense, 25th in net rating. And they allow 52.5% effective field goal percentage, which is 24th in the clutch. Yeah, and we've seen it. They can't close. We lost on last second putbacks. Two of them this year alone that stick out in particular because the other team was bigger than you and they bullied you and they scrounged for the bucket. Tatum, obviously, that's a fix. Once he comes back. In the clutch minute, he's in 127.6 clutch minutes. He scored 91 points, which is a plus 23. I think that leads the league. He grabbed 28 rebounds, which at a plus 13, and had 25 assists. That's a superstar effect, and you're obviously hoping to get that back in some shape or form. But is that enough? Do you think that's going to be enough going forward? Because I don't know if Tatum's going to necessarily be the sole answer for a double big lineup, which you're going to see a lot of in the playoffs.
No, especially not. He shouldn't be coming off his injury too. Like we shouldn't be relying like that. It's going to be an awesome plus, but yeah, we should definitely look for a big. That's for sure. Like we can't with his minutes restriction. He should be getting 2. That just would be a recipe for disaster to also be putting tasking him with crazy strong dudes as his main focus, and yeah, it just wouldn't be the best for rehab, that's for sure.
Well, we've had a lot of success running smaller lineups, but I do think, especially in playoff basketball, when the game slows down, a lot more is predicated on your half-court offense. You're going to need a big guy out there, and half-court defense for that matter. You're going to need a bigger guy out there to match the elite bigs. Like, Cornette's not an elite big. Wemby for sure is. And Nemius Cade is taxed with one of them. So you got to kind of, I think, add another maybe elite defensive big to help stop him. And there's a few that come to mind. I don't know if you guys have any. Feel free to mention them. But obviously, Anthony Davis is in the news. 32-year-old. He announced, I think there was an announcement a week ago about having surgery on his wrist, which he hurt against Lauri Markkanen. That would probably put him out for the rest of the year. Now, as of today, we have reports where he's not having the surgery, and there is renewed trade interest involving the Kentucky big man. Obviously, that'd be a huge swing for the fences. But would you? I think we have this conversation weekly. Would you take a risk on Anthony Davis, especially with that big option in the upcoming year, big player option?
Wow.
Elaborate.
I wouldn't have taken a chance on AD most years in the last couple of years. I mean,
Really?
You owe him so much money, and like, when was the last time you saw AD play 65 games in a year? Like the COVID, well, the COVID shortened year, he didn't do it, but that was the last time we saw him healthy in a playoff series. Like, it's been a long time since he's been healthy. He's only getting older. This season, him coming in like weighing 30 pounds more than he did last season was like a big red flag for me. For a guy who doesn't want to play center to put on that much weight, like, I thought you wanted to be an agile 4. Like, I don't know why you're putting on this much weight on a body that has lower extremity issues every year.
The production hasn't, I mean, it's dipped because he's getting older, but it's still pretty elite. He's 20-11 in the 20 games he's played this season. He's missed 40 of the games, but
yeah, exactly. Like, it's if he's gonna miss that many games, like, well, I can't pay him that much. I can't, because if you commit to him with that contract, like the amount of money that you have committed to him, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, is like almost all of your money. You're not gonna be able to build much around them, and you're gonna rely on him being your third star when he doesn't play.
But just think about it. Just go through the thought experiment of what AD would look like currently in this lineup. Wouldn't he solve a ton of issues?
Yeah, but if the biggest what if for him is if he plays.
Right, but okay, fine. But that was the same thing with Porzingis too, especially when we got him in free agency. Obviously, it's different. I want you to take the contract out of it.
Taking the contract out of it, sure. Like, I'll take any of these guys who take the contract out of it, but like, a guy's got to play at the end of the day. Like, I'd rather have a healthy player that averages less points and less rebounds that I can rely on every night.
Okay, Jacob, what about you?
I mean, yeah, it's tough because I kind of want someone we'd necessarily think we'd be building with, like, going forward. You know what I mean? And with AD, it kind of feels like he's on the tail end of his career. I don't know. Yeah, it's tough. Like what Steve's saying with how much we'd have locked up. I know you didn't want to talk about that, but it is a huge factor, that's for sure. I don't know. It's tough for AD that the one time he did survive through the playoffs, like Steve mentioned, was the shortened, contained environment where he didn't have to travel and all that. It's like the one time he survived and he won the championship was the unique year. So I don't know. I had these worries when like you said, we've had AD trades floating forever, and I feel like I had these worries, like Steve's saying, even in years past, and it's more glaring now. So I feel like it wouldn't be the time to do it now, I don't think, unfortunately. I love it, Anthony Davis, but watching him is painful.
Would this make you? Let's just say things go according to plan. He's healthy for the playoffs. Does this make you a legitimate contender in the NBA, especially with the addition of Tatum in this current squad as it is?
Well, what do you give up to get AD at that point, though?
That's another thing. That's probably where I'm out, is what you're giving up. And I think it would have to be like a mix of Derek White. I think Derek White or somebody bigger would have to be in it.
If they're giving up to him, they're going to want Derek White at least. And then plus, draft.
They're going to want, I imagine they're going to want a billion picks, but you have to make the money work because I think they're an apron team, and so are we.
Yeah, so you'd have to give up Derek White and Anthony Simons and picks. And they're probably going to want a young player too.
So a team with everybody else, excluding those guys you mentioned, and AD and Tatum, make you better or worse? Or same?
Same but different. Same because I feel like your outcome would probably be the same as if you kept all those guys, but different because your weaknesses would be a lot different. Because now you're down 2 ball handlers. Your main ball handler is now Peyton Pritchard. and Jason Tatum.
Well,
And
you're right.
you're big, so you're good at rebounding, but you don't have any ball handlers. Where right now you have a bunch of ball handlers, but you're not big. So the outcome at the end is probably going to be about the same, but you're just going to get to that outcome taking a different path.
That's funny. The thing I'm most worried about with that trade in particular is not the ball handling, because I think Tatum will take a lot of that burden, as he always has, even still with the injury. So I want Tatum to have the ball in his hands more often than Derek White. The thing I'd be worried about, that's the fatal flaw, is that I think what Derek White does is like literally invaluable, and I think you can get a cheaper replacement or a better replacement than Anthony Davis for what he does. Not better in terms of quality, but better in terms of like financial capabilities, health, and age, all that
What
stuff.
you're giving up and
and affordability as well. Yeah. I think Derek White is a must for this team to win championships.
I think he's part of the core that you have to build around for the next few years.
Agreed.
He's almost untradeable.
Agreed. It would have to like blow my socks off to even consider it.
You'd have to be getting another top guard in the league.
I mean, if like, okay, fine. What if Memphis was like, do you want Ja Morant?
No. I don't want anything to fucking do with Ja Morant.
Really?
Ja Morant
I feel like
is
that's
AD, but smaller, and also has off-court issues that he misses games for. So it's like he could be healthy, but then maybe pulls a gun in a strip club again and gets suspended again. Like, I don't want anything to do with that fucking guy.
I don't know, Jacob. Would you blush at that so much as Steve has just did?
No, I mean, like, who would they want? Like, maybe for free, but
no, you have to give Derek White up.
No, no, definitely not then. Because
really, that's crazy. I feel like that would be a much more of a conversation than, because Ja Morant's actually, when he's played, he's been very good.
Not this year though.
Well, no. What are his numbers this year?
Like historically bad. I think he's shooting like 17 from 3.
Yeah,
he also had a 40-point game last week.
Yeah, I mean, right now he's averaging 19 points, 3.5 turnovers to 7.5 assists, and 3 rebounds. And he's shooting
horrible from 3.
Effective field goal percentage is 43%. He's only shooting 47% from the field at 2, and he's shooting 20.8% from 3.
You're also getting a 26-year-old that's compared to a 32-year-old.
I'm getting a 26-year-old that already has injury problems and has off-court issues. Like, why do I want to give up this guy?
Well, that's the thing.
It'd be for Mr. Celtic too, which is just tough.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it either. I'm on your side, obviously. We just talked about how.
All right. So I just said Ja Morant's numbers: 19 points, 7 boards, or 7 assists, and 3 rebounds. And Derek White's averaging 18.5 points, 4.5 rebounds, and 5 assists. And is a much better defender on much better efficiency, and has played 38 games this year compared to 19.
When Ja Morant is at his peak, he is a better player than Derek White at his peak.
Morant at his peak.
No, I know, but just answer the question. You might even disagree with the question. Is Ja Morant at his peak a better player than Derek White at his peak?
Ja Morant's a better player than most of the league when he's at his peak, but Ja Morant was at his peak for half of one season 3 seasons ago.
That's where you're talking yourself into it.
All right, well, would you trade Jason Tatum for Joel Embiid?
No, but that's not what I'm talking about. That's a completely different thing.
At Joel Embiid's peak, is he better than Jason Tatum?
But Ja Morant's 26 and Derek White's 32. It's literally inverse.
It's a dragon that's already left. Like, you showed up to the 11 a.m. train at noon and wondered where the fuck it went. Like, I'm not want this fucking guy.
I don't want him either. I'm
never
on
going to
your
be
side.
Anywhere near what he was like 3 years ago. He's not gonna.
You don't know that though.
I do know that. Like, what is he showing to? Like, shoots 47% from 2. That was always his biggest thing, was that he was an elite finisher. He's not even that right now. He's played 19 games this year. Derek White's played 38. Like, I don't like, the guy doesn't play. He's not as good as he was. And he's also, doesn't he get like $50 million next year too?
Yeah, I think he's eligible for a big extension, which I don't think he's going to get from Memphis. And I think that's why you heard recently that they're now open to discussing trades for Ja Morant. And that was just the name I threw in there. I wouldn't do it either. I'm with you guys. Every reason you've listed, I'm fully bought in. I just don't think that. I think there's like at least 14 executives that would take the deal.
There's a lot of fucking stupid teams in the NBA. Sacramento's still the team in this league.
And they're probably the front runner to land Ja Morant, ironically.
100% he's going to end up there. Like, some way or another, they're going to end up with Ja Morant.
It's. I
DeMar
don't think
DeRozan, you are a Memphis Grizzly.
have we ever been in a situation this bad with like a guy who is borderline or would have been the face of the league or could be one day, depending on how you look at it. Have we ever been in a situation like this where now he's talking about getting traded? Like, I guess the closest comp is Trae Young because that's what they're saying his trade value is
Like,
right now.
well, you go like
Zion,
Ben
But
maybe.
Ja Morant was a bigger player than Trae Young ever was.
you go like
Zion
Ben
was like the
Simmons,
number one guy.
Zion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But is Zion different from Ja? Well, he is different because his team hasn't said they're going to trade him.
He just doesn't talk. He just doesn't speak loudly about his actions off court. I think that's really the only difference, honestly. Otherwise, it's pretty similar. I just think he's like not as like outwardly confident, but like production wise, like and health wise, pretty similar. Bad spots, I'd say.
They do feel similar, but I will say I feel like Zion's skill set is a lot more, even if he never reaches his peak,
Yeah.
is a lot more like translatable to what teams need than nobody has a need for a guard that can't shoot.
He could be like really athletic Brandon Bass, but plays like 40 games a year for the rest of his career, and he'd be better than Ja Morant.
One thing about Zion that was interesting was like, did you see all the noise on Twitter about how the fact that first game he had, he hit more threes than he ever has since? Like he hit 4.
Yeah, I remember watching that first game. I was like, where the fuck did this 3-point shot come from? He was like 7 in his first game.
Yeah, like in the 4th, and then he's never hit more than 3 again, ever again, which is so wild.
It's weird because like you would think like, hey, a guy whose body's breaking down and he can't stay healthy, he would start relying on a jumper more, but like he just never did.
No,
I mean, I think there's a difference between a guy who can't shoot and a guy who chooses not to, and I think Ja falls into the first, and then Zion's more on the latter.
Yeah. I feel like Zion could work on it and get better at it. He's just distracted in the offseason by bimbos and such.
I mean, look, Zion's off-court issues are like don't get him suspended and don't like shed a bad light on this.
Yeah, you say that now. I mean, his accusation was weirdly the most intense one because he was accused of, I think, sexual assault, right? Like he was accused of it by that porn actress.
Yeah, Mariah.
Yeah, no, I forgot.
I believe allegedly.
There was
allegedly.
I forgot the essay allegations were in there. That's on me. No, I don't.
But
fucking.
There's been no smoke there, I don't think.
She was just saying everything too. She was like going nuts in that little era, like trying to squeeze everything out. So who knows?
She was melting down on Twitter for sure.
Yeah.
Mariah Mills, big fan. I'm a fan of your work. No, okay.
I was more of a Pinky guy.
Pinky, legend of the game. So yeah, you're out on Anthony Davis. Ja Morant probably out of Memphis. Where do you think he realistically goes?
Watch him end up in fucking Atlanta. So.
Do you think they're gonna get rid of him this season?
Yeah, because I don't see them re-signing him. Like I don't see unless Memphis is like just all in on just like we love Ja. Like he doesn't seem like he wants to be there. So
I think they are I think everybody's all in there. It's just that they're loving a guy who
doesn't love
basketball. I don't think.
If he asks out, like if they're gonna re-sign him, I don't understand why. Like you're not building anything with him. He doesn't play.
Well, I mean, you fire your coach to get him a coach that he likes, and then he fought the coach like the new coach the first week of the season. He's fighting his teammates like
get the guy out. He's a cancer to the locker room at this point. Like he doesn't play. He just causes issues with the coaching staff for calling him out, for like holding him accountable, not even calling him out. Like you gotta trade him at this point because he's under contract. Because if you don't trade him now and you don't plan on re-signing him, then you're just going to lose him for nothing. And somebody, like you said, there's 14 teams out there that are dumb enough to fucking pull the trigger on this. So let one of them do it and get something, because otherwise it's a asset that you lost for nothing.
Do you think Ja Morant plays relevant basketball this season?
No chance.
I think
so. You're excluding any trades to like Minnesota or Houston or Atlanta or.
Oh my god! I hope they trade him to fucking Minnesota.
I don't think Atlanta would make the trade.
That would be a fucking nuclear bomb in the middle of that. You think Ja Morant and Anthony Edwards are going to get along?
If they're winning games, I think winning games gets you along with everybody.
Well, what's the one problem that we all have with Minnesota's offense other than ball handling?
Well, no, that is their issue.
Well, their other issue is shooting, and now your best ball handler can't fucking shoot. So.
I think actually that's like the most. That would be, I think, as a basketball fan, I would want to see him go there the most, because one, it makes the Timberwolves like I think a real threat this year if everything goes well, and yeah, I want the guy to succeed. It's not Memphis. Get him out of Memphis, where I think they're just going to go full into the schneid here, because now they're also talking about moving on from Triple J, another guy the Celtics are massively linked to in a trade.
I saw Ja pretty linked to Miami, but that'd be pretty
That
interesting.
too.
Yeah,
That'd
but
be a place where he plays relevant basketball.
one place that I sort of thought of, which I don't think they should do it, but I feel like the Raptors could be in the sweepstakes because they were mentioning a big deal that they want to do at the deadline with Quickly in pieces. So it's like, to the Raptors trade Quickly, who's on a pretty big contract. He's like in $33 million per year for some reason. For I don't think the Raptors should do it, but they were discussing making a big push to having a more serious team for the playoffs, and they were mentioning Quickly too. So it is a guard, and that might be better than what a lot of the other teams offer from the Grizzlies.
For the benefit and welfare of everybody involved, I think they need to try their absolute hardest to get Ja Morant up to Canada, where the gun rules are incredibly strict. Yeah, Raptors would be interesting. The Raptors, especially because they lost to us last week, and they lost to, I think, the Heat or somebody. Two teams that they're going to be they are currently fighting with for positioning in the Eastern Conference. So they do feel like, and they've lost to us now twice. So there is real motivation, I think, by them to try and make something move this year, because they've had a great year from Scotty Barnes and Brandon Ingram, like straight up. They've gotten a surprise year out of Scotty Barnes. Not a surprise, but to Rickovich or whatever name the coach, but to the average NBA fan, they're like, this guy's actually really good again. Like, he's taking another leap this season.
Scotty is like one of the more scrutinized players in the league. I feel like he's way better than what people talk about in general. You think he's some scrub, and then he puts up like third team All NBA numbers each year, like every year, and like when you watch a team again, like he'll have bad games, but when you watch your team against him, you're like, this guy should get more respect. Like almost every time, I'm thinking, because he's just a huge dude that's a very good playmaker, honestly, for his size. He's a very strong dude.
I think he could be like a better Pascal Siakam at his prime.
Yeah, that's fair. It's funny they both started the same place too.
Yeah. Maybe he plays kind of similar. Yeah. So I think for the betterment, he should get moved out of Memphis. But the thing I want to talk about the most, Triple J to the Celtics. What do we think?
I'm out.
It would, yeah.
Okay, elaborate.
Well, what's the one problem that we want to alleviate?
Defensive rebounding.
Okay, and this guy averages 5 a game at 7 feet tall, and Peyton Pritchard averages 4 at 6 feet tall. So,
okay.
And what are we
counter?
Doing?
Tatum is going to be joining as well, and he's the best rebounder on the team.
All right, well, counter. If you sign Triple J, you have to pay him $50 million next year, and that means you have $160 million wrapped up in the 3 J's that we now have, because apparently we just love
J's.
The fucking J. So, hey, good luck building around a team where $160 million is wrapped up in those 3. And you
I mean,
out of the second apron, and now you are just so deep back in the second apron that you just fucked yourself for the future too.
How would this be that different? There's a few bones I have to pick. How would this be any different from adding Kristaps Porzingis?
Because you also added Drew Holiday for the nights that Kristaps Porzingis doesn't play.
But you're keeping Derek White, and Peyton Pritchard is taking a step into a more alleviated role. You're also getting defensive standouts from guys like Hugo and Jordan. Like, this team is different. And there's players that didn't play last year that can kind of do not quite what Drew did, but like you can kind of fill in the gaps.
We also got to figure that they're probably going to want one of those players with this trade too.
I mean, they said they want young talent and a lot of draft capital if they were to move him. Now, I think this move is entirely predicated on if Ja Morant gets moved. If not, I think they're probably going to both stay on the Memphis Grizzlies for the rest of the season, maybe the rest of their career. But if Ja does get moved, I think Triple J would shortly be moved. And best case scenario, you give up one of those guys, Hugo, Josh, Jordan Walsh, and a bunch of first round picks, plus the trade package. The trade package would have to involve with Anthony Simons and or Sam Hauser to make it work. Yeah, I could talk myself into it. He's 20 old.
Yeah, also just like all your shooting too off your team.
It's tough. Yeah,
you're adding Tatum back to it though.
The reports I'd seen had Walsh and Hugo on too with Anthony, and that's just in Sam too. That's too much. If it's four pieces from our depth and picks, that's too much.
I wouldn't do both of those young guys. I'd do one of them, and it probably would be Hugo. But
here's the thing with Triple J is like, how much better do you think that he's going to get? because we haven't.
I mean, he's already pretty good at what he does.
He's pretty good, but you say because he's 26 that we should get him, but like we haven't seen any real improvement from him in the last couple of years.
I mean, he's overpaid for sure at his deal, but I think for what he does, the Celtics currently don't have anybody that can do it. And he's young enough and locked up enough that he will be on this team into his early 30s. Like, best case scenario, he's Al Horford and he could be Kristaps and Al Horford combined.
Well, I'm worried about defensive rebounding for this team when you get Tatum back. So, like, I'm not really worried about defensive rebounding when he's back. So why do I need to add another guy to do that?
Well, because you'd be adding an elite rim protector and stretch big, who can also get his own shot in isolation if need be.
Maybe I'm just a Triple J hater, but like he fouls out of a lot of games. I don't know how great his rim protection really is when you're fouling out of games.
Well, he's defensive player of the year, and defense is more of a team stat, I think. It helps if you have somebody to rotate with, you know?
Yeah, but like, I don't know how good his isolation really is. Is he really?
He's actually pretty good at it.
He's one of the better on like dribbling big. Like he can actually break down big men on the perimeter, which is pretty rare. But yeah,
I mean, look, if I'm giving up that package, I would rather just do that for Bam Adebayo if I'm going to do it.
You want to talk about bad offensive production? Bam Adebayo is having like historically bad offensive production.
Yeah, but
he cannot shoot.
Like, there's nobody on that fucking team. No, it's like, hey, Bam, can you please do something? Because Tyler Herro was not playing, and Jaime Jaquez is here just hang out.
Bam's also like 30, I think, 29, 30. And the deals are probably similar. And I think I just want the guy who's 26 who can actually shoot the ball from distance.
What about the guy who's 28 who can't shoot from distance and makes $20 million a year and is on the Clippers?
Zubac? Yeah, that was another guy that's brought up.
He only has $20 million.
Because you can get a guy like Zubac for a lot less.
Well, no, it would still have to require Anthony or Sam, I think.
Yeah, but you're not going to give up Hugo and fucking picks and Walsh and all that for Zubac. Like, you're going to give up a couple picks probably and Anthony Simons.
He is on an expiring deal.
If it doesn't work out, you don't have to sign him back. Once again, we're not dealing with cap hell, where if you sign a guy who's on the hook for $50 million plus for the next 3 years, like, and you're fucked trying to build a team. And draft.
I'd be in on Zubac for sure
too. So that would be another problem I would have with it.
Zubac also is the Clips also, and trade talks that occurred over the offseason, they were saying they want 2 first-round picks for him, minimum, plus obviously whatever you have to give us in assets to make the money work. That's pretty. You are paying a hefty price tag. It's one that could be minus the young player would be about the same as Triple J, but you're getting a guy who's younger. And I don't know. Do you guys really want 2 bigs that can't really move the best and can't shoot the ball?
Well, our problem right now is defensive rebounding.
It's not just the problem, though. Well, it's not just the problem. You need to be able to match lineups, too.
That's our most glaring problem is that.
Huh?
That's our most glaring problem is that. And then, like you said, when we get Tatum back, now all of a sudden it's not that big of a deal to have Zubac out there with Tatum.
A glaring problem is also your offensive production in the clutch.
Zubac's the guy who you can...
Talk about trash spacing if you have Nemias and Zubac out there at the end, like...
Well, this is also a trade to try and take some of the pressure off Nemi. Like, make Nemi your backup because, like, I love Nemi and Nemi's playing unbelievable this year, but Nemi should not be a starting center on a championship team.
I mean, fine. Okay.
And, like, the end of game, you're not running double big anyways. Like, we didn't really even run double big at the end of the game when we won the championship.
We didn't do it against the Spurs literally 2 games ago, and they destroyed us. Literally, their 2 bigs scored, I think, 4 of their last buckets.
But how many teams are you going to go against that are going to run a double big that are going to beat you up like that?
The Rockets, the Spurs, the Thunder, all these teams that are, going to be in the championship or hope to be.
Who's the second big on the Rockets?
Steven Adams, and I don't know, pick any of the other guys. Şengün.
Yeah.
Jabari Smith, like...
I think they got Clint Capella just chilling too.
Yeah. Like the teams that you're going to have to beat to get to the show or to win the whole thing, which I guess is now our aspirations this year. I think that has to be your aspiration if you're going to make a move here, is to actually try and compete.
Well, I don't know. You said, I'll do double.
You have to be able to go double big.
Double big of Zubac and Nemi, I'm fine with that if you want to run double big at the end. But like, because they're going to be.
But your offense is going to be so bad.
Their offense isn't going to be any better.
Hey, Garza can shoot it, I guess.
Hey, you put Garza out there for double big if you want to.
Triple J allows you to have the flexibility of both. He's fast and agile enough to be up and down with the small lineup if you want to run small, which we like to do. He's also in the lineup of having Tatum at forward, Jaylen Brown at shooting guard, and whoever at Derek White at point guard with the other two bigs. Like, it allows you to go jumbo.
Well, there you go.
There's a lot more flexibility with Jaren than I think you're taking into. And I like Zubac, and I like him for the fact that he's elite at. He does solve like a major issue. I just think that for down the line, you're going to need a little bit more flexibility to mix and match as we go in the playoffs. And Triple J is not that much of a for what Triple J does. I think puts him on par with Zubac, albeit the price tags are different.
Price tag is way too much. There's a $30 million difference between the two guys. There's not $30 million worth of difference in their play.
But you're really bummed out about the money. I think it doesn't matter. Like, he's 26. Like,
but I want the flexibility, because with the second apron, you're gonna be right back in it. You're gonna be handcuffed for the next 3 years to this guy. And it's like, if it doesn't work, then it's like, all right, well, now we got to trade him, and we just traded a bunch of shit for a guy that we're gonna have to get off of now. So
yeah, but if it doesn't work, then we're gonna have we're gonna be in real trouble, no matter what. Like, if it doesn't work, like, I don't know, I wouldn't make that move thinking it's not gonna work. I'd talk myself into all the pros of it.
to be fair, you probably won't, but you probably don't make any move thinking it's not gonna work.
Well, right, but and that's my thing, is that what Triple J does, I think, is irreplaceable. What Zubac does, I don't know. I mean, can we get something similar out of 20 games in the playoffs of Robert Williams? Yeah, I think.
Well,
but that doesn't afford me going forward the flexibility that Triple J would have. I'm higher on the asset of Triple J.
Yeah, it's tough because you don't have as much roster building flexibility, but you do have more like on court at the moment flexibility. It's definitely because, like, I mean, I'm seeing that Zubac gets paid 18 this year, 19 next year, and then 20 the year after. So he's not expiring until 27, 28, after 27, 28. So Zubac would be locked into this 20 per year for 3 years. Well, this year and then 2 more. So that's kind of crazy for his value. That's almost like, that's a steal of a contract, I'd say. So it's like, you could take that and then still imagine having that and then having another 30 million per se to think about a stretch big. You know what I mean? Like that, yeah. Like the $30 million difference for the next few years allows us to shop around too, to fill that gap in.
Fill in the rest of the roster too, like fill in like other gaps that we're not thinking about.
Yeah,
like the shooting that you're probably gonna have to give up to get Zubac. Like,
yeah, we're in a middle class NBA issue where like Triple J just shouldn't be getting this money, and it's affecting us thinking, like, you know what I mean? Like, Triple J just shouldn't be getting 50 million for 18 points and like 2 blocks like that. Like, sure, like that. He's very good, but
just 2 blocks a game. Derek White averages 1.5.
Yeah, it's just the salaries at the moment.
We need rim protection. We have it at home.
Yeah, but you don't have it when your 7-foot guy goes out.
I know. I understand. I'm not saying Derek White can go up there and cover fucking Vic. Like, it is what it is.
Yeah, well, neither can Nebius Keita. Neither can anybody, apparently, that we brought out.
I mean, neither can anybody in the league, apparently.
I just get a little hesitant when we talk about trying to fill in a gap to meet other teams where they're at. I think we should try and play our own game.
That's my thing. Like, play your style. Don't make a trade to go play double big because other teams play double big. Who they were when they played small. They always played small.
Who fits Missoula ball better?
Triple J does, but
absolutely.
You're also giving up all your shooting to get Triple J. So at that point, it's like, why am I making that move to handcuff myself and still not have shooting?
Well, you'll have shooting. You don't not have shooting. Yeah, Jaylen Brown, Derek White, and Peyton Pritchard and Jason Tatum are not going anywhere.
Yeah, but then
you just sacrifice a bench shooter, Sam Hauser, who's having a bad year, and Anthony Simons, who's like hot and cold at best.
That's still
for a guy shooting 36% from 3, by the way. Not a guy who can't shoot.
I don't like handcuffing myself to a guy for $50 million a year who's a mid-level player, I think, at best.
Who are you going to get this better? Like, realistically, in the next 5 years, who are you going to get this better?
It's kind of, I think it's like a reverse of the Michael Porter Jr. situation, where it's like they removed the near max and filled it in with 3 or 4 players. I feel like if we did Zubac, plus other people, I feel like we'd be a more complete team. You know what I mean? Maybe not, can't do that this year, but in the offseason, at least you can think that way. It's the fact that he costs like more than 2 times. It's just unfortunate.
It's the fact that we're so close to the second apron too.
Yeah.
When you start losing draft picks too, when you're in the second apron for too long, and that's like I gave up a bunch of first round picks and I'm losing draft picks on top of that. Whereas like if it doesn't work, like I'm fucked for the next like 4 or 5 years when I have Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown's prime. It's like you could build like anybody around those guys. Like I don't know.
So why not take a swing on the 26-year-old stretch elite defender?
Because I just told you, because you're gonna fucking handcuff yourself, and if it doesn't work, you're fucked. So why not give yourself some flexibility to work around that?
Enough. You can trade him. You can trade him if it doesn't work out.
But then if it doesn't work out here, and people look at that and go, "Hey, you couldn't do it when you were the number 1 guy. You can't do it when you're the number 2 or 3 guy. Why the fuck do we want to pay you $50-something million? Is you've proven that you can't do either."
I'm not ruling out a Zubac, Brooke Lopez second half of the career either. What if he starts launching? No one thought that about Brooke Lopez. We could teach one of our bigs to become like that.
I mean,
that is an underrated, crazy second half of career for Brooke. Like that, thinking back on that is crazy. Like I don't think he took any threes first half of his career, and then he just becomes some deep ball launcher. That was out of nowhere. Kudos to him surviving.
10 years of his career, he took like 3, and you know they're all like, "Oh, I ended up with the ball with 1 second left on the shot clock," or "Oh, like I had to take a half court heave." Like those are all his shots. Then like the second half of his career takes like 100 a fucking year or something like that.
Yeah,
he also got better defensively as he got older. It's weird.
Yeah, he got much better. Yeah.
And then his brother was like out of the league before him. He was the younger brother, I think. It wasn't Robin, the younger brother, and he's out of the league for like 5-6 years.
Yeah, I believed in Robin too.
He was fun. I definitely bet you he was a really good locker room guy.
Oh, for sure.
No, he's weird.
He was definitely
weird.
Fun. He was weird, but he looked like he was fun though.
He probably would be like the hockey goallie. You know, the goalies are always kind of like on their own wavelength.
For sure.
Feels like Robin Lopez was on his
weird.
own thing. It's kind of like how Mac Hollins is with the Pats. He's just doing his own thing. You know, he's weird, but
he's walking around his bare fucking feet like a psycho. Like, yeah.
He don't hurt nobody. All right. Well, I guess the most affordable option on the list would be Robert Williams. Can you talk yourself into Robert Williams?
I can always. I can always talk myself into the Time Lord.
It's always biased.
I mean, he's like kind of the worst of everybody. He can't shoot. He's always hurt.
Yeah.
But at his best, he's like a rim running elite athlete.
Crazy defender. Like was in the running for Depoy before he got hurt. The Marcus Smart won it.
If that matters so much to you, then how does Triple J's Depoy doesn't matter? Like I didn't say I don't get it.
I'm just giving Robert Williams his credit for being in the running for Depoy. I didn't say it doesn't matter. I love Jaren Jackson's defense, except for that he fouls out a lot. This team already has a problem with fouling. Like Jordan Walsh and Eby can't keep their hands to themselves. So like, hey, let's not put another guy out there that fouls a lot. But I mean, I love Rob Williams. It depends on what the price would be. I mean, look, if you want to give a second round pick and like, I don't know, Simon, maybe not Simons, maybe Xavier Tillman in a couple of seconds.
I think Tillman's like weirdly the locker room guy. I don't think he's the type of guy you trade. I mean,
like that's the only reason why he's there. He doesn't play. Like he's got to be the locker room guy or something.
And I think the reports have come out that he is like the kind of like the weird elder statesman, even though he's younger than like Jason Tatum.
I'm older than everybody.
I'm older than all of them. But yeah, you even see it. He's out there directing the defense. Like when the Spurs went double big, there was a timeout. And I just remember seeing him like getting in Neemias' ear, telling him what to do. Obviously, it didn't work out, but Neemias didn't do a bad job. It's just that Wemby was the best player alive.
When Temple is finally a coach, Tillman's gonna be the new like poll, like who's gonna become a coach in the league type guy. Because Tillman you're right. Like he just kind of operates as a coach that gets subbed in emergency style sometimes.
He's the oldest 26-year-old I've ever seen in my life.
He's got an old soul. Probably listens to only Bob Dylan and such.
Yeah. I don't know. Is there anybody else? Like, so
I mean,
if you had your druthers, who would you trade? What is the deal you're sending to the league office today?
I mean, there's talks of Daniel Gafford too. But like,
he's the guy I want the least.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at that like, hey, he makes like a shitload more than Nemi, and Nemi does almost exactly what he does. So it's like, why do I really want another Nemi on the team?
Especially an undersized one. It's like 6'9" or something, like 6'10". He's not that tall.
I mean, you look how much his production has dropped since Luka left too. So it's kind of tough.
If I want a 6'10" like big, then Triple J is my answer. If I want like a 7-foot traditional big, it's Zubac. That's more affordable. Obviously, if I'm like penny pinching here, Robert Williams is 6'9", but he's elite.
But he plays like a
defensively.
fucking 7-footer the way he jumps.
Yeah. So interesting fact: who was taken ahead of Triple J? Triple J was 4th overall in 2018. Don't look at the sheet.
2018, and he was 4th. That was Tatum. No, that wasn't Tatum. That's way too fucking early to be Tatum. That wasn't one of our picks.
That's not early to be Tatum. It's after Tatum.
After Tatum? Well, yeah, early. That's what I mean. Early. I mean, like Tatum would have been like 2016 draft, right?
Mm-hmm. No, 17.
Yeah. So 16 was Brown, 17 was Tatum,
Pretty big one. Pretty big draft.
18 was a big draft.
The first 2 picks are like fringy guys currently. One is the laughing stock.
Oh, is it Trey? And was it the Luka?
Well, it was DeAndre Ayton, number 1 overall.
Oh,
Then
okay.
it was Marvin Bagley, and then it was Luka,
/
and
Trey.
then Triple J, and then Trey. They got flipped for each other. But interesting trade. And then obviously SGA was 11th. That's the biggest one. And then Jalen Brunson was 33rd or something like that.
Bro, the scouts got that draft fucking wrong.
Speaking of which, we got Robert Williams 27th in that draft.
Shout out to the
Interesting
Clippers for
fact.
taking Marvin Bagley as second overall. It's like
He's on the team. He's on a team though. I think he's on the.
All these guys are on a team.
Yeah.
The only one not playing is Trey.
It's true. Him and Marvin on the same team, I believe now. I think they're both on the Wizards.
Look ahead. Celtics look ahead. You got Miami on Thursday. You got you're in Atlanta on Saturday. Then you're in Detroit on MLK Day on Monday, and then you are back home on Wednesday against the Indiana Pacers, team you just lost to. Guys, 3-1.
Better be
4-0.
the stretch.
4-0.
Whip him back up into shape.
Detroit's like on an all-time heater.
Beat him once this year already, so why not twice?
On national TV, you're gonna go into Detroit and beat the number 1 seed in the East. It's dubious.
Things have happened.
It's dubious.
The Hornets just beat somebody by like 60 the other night, or did they get beat by 60?
I don't know. Probably the latter rather than the former. Yeah, I mean, then the Pacers are obviously a team where like you should win by 40 points because they're the worst team in the league, but they like obviously play you tough because they just want to remind you that they're not to be trifled with next year. They're just tanking while the guy heals up.
Yeah, no, it was the Hornets.
You just have Halliburton in the back to tank.
The Hornets beat the Jazz on Saturday 150-95.
Wow.
The Hornets put up 150 on somebody. That's so crazy.
Hornets are like the young team you don't want to F with, man. Like Conk and Nipple really changed their whole shit.
For real. Adding like such a competent shooter to that team really is, and also just like everyone's getting older too. Like that Musa Diabate is like awesome, and then they got Cockbrenner too, who I'd love to have on the Celtics eventually because he's just such a field goal percentage block type guy, but can't shoot.
Got LaMelo coming off the bench.
Trey
Maybe
Mann
that's like his actual role. Huh?
Trey Mann had 20 points in 12 minutes in that game.
Wow, Jesus.
And he's only +4 in a game they won by 55. So.
He's wee. He's a wee fella. Bit of a defensive liability.
Every other there's only 3 players on the whole Charlotte team that didn't score 10 points, and one of them had 9.
That's crazy.
Everybody on their team played and had 10 points except for 3 guys.
Any big games you're gonna be watching this week? There's a few.
Just focus on the Celtics this week for me. Any Friday night big ones?
Not for the Celtics, but on Thursday you got the Heat. You're in Miami. You got Oklahoma City or in Houston that night. Phoenix and Detroit.
I wish that Oklahoma-Houston game would have been on a Friday. That would have been hell of a fucking team.
You also have Orlando and Memphis and Germany. They're playing a double game series there in Germany. Ja Morant will not be playing for the first one.
I'm surprised Ja Morant's allowed in fucking Germany with the gun.
He flew out there. I think this is sort of like where it's like, all right, you're going to get traded, but the commish was in there to be like, you're playing at one of these games. Like we sold that you're going to be in Germany playing. Like you have to play.
Well, I think the big sell for them was Franz and Mo.
Well, right. That's for sure what
they're playing.
No, I think they are. I think Franz is coming back and Moritz just came back.
It's actually
Did more
perfect
come back?
timing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Gee, I wonder why that timing was so perfect for them to come back.
Trust me, I know Franz has been activated. I got that alert.
I don't think there's anything. I don't think there's anything like timely about the fucking Magic injury situation ever. They're just permanently on the IR
They
the
should-
whole time.
They should have done Magic versus Kings though for the Schroeder love. That's for sure.
Well,
Oh,
Schroeder might not be let back out of the country. He might get into a fist fight.
It's
yeah,
true.
sure. Got 3 games.
Friday's another amazing. Yeah, the Wolves Rockets, but damn, the Rockets. That's one of the harder back-to-backs you can ever have. They got the Thunder and the Wolves back-to-back.
Thunder Wolves back to back.
Defensive monster teams just back-to-back.
You know, Anthony Edwards is going to be like, good luck trying to stop him on the second night of the back-to-back. Just
yeah.
good luck.
I mean, you play, and the teams play such different styles too. The Thunder play more like an up-tempo style where they want to run. The Wolves kind of like want to drag you into the mud and beat the shit out of you because they're bigger than you.
I mean, I think weirdly, the Timberwolves and Houston are like a pretty good matchup. It's
Oh, they're
just
great
the
matchup.
Timberwolves have a little bit of a flaw in the ball hand. Like, they don't have a guard that could be
Well,
as good as anybody on
what's the
Houston.
problem with the Rockets this year?
On Houston, that's what I'm saying, though. Like, they don't have... But their guard situation is worse. Like, the Houston at least still has Amen and
Reed.
Reed. Yeah.
Who doesn't play because Ime said he doesn't play good enough defense, so he won't play him in the end of games, which is crazy.
Well, I mean, Ime's fucking it all. They're on a fucking bit of a schneid this year. Like, that right this month. Like, they're hitting rough waters. They're too reliant on KD, he said.
I was gonna say, from what I've heard too from Rockets fans is that Ime is way too quick to sit Reed. Like they get in a good flow and he sits Reed and like their offense just dies. Like it definitely seems like he has a gripe with Reed because of the defense, but it's like, dude, your offense is so rough. You gotta risk that.
I've watched a handful of Rockets games. The one that sticks out to me was against the Suns like 2 weeks ago where they subbed Reed out and Kevin Durant had to have a Herculean effort to stave off the Suns. Like, he took Reed out in the clutch, like with 5 minutes left, and their offense just went flatline. And it took Kevin Durant being one of the best players of all time to win that game.
It's got to be so tough having Kevin Durant on your team and not just being like, hey, Kevin, can you just go score a bunch of points for us and like run all the plays for him and shit like...
Well, if you kept Reed in, like you probably maintain a 10-point lead. You don't have to worry so much about putting the whole team on KD's back.
No, I mean like in general for like a game-to-game basis to not lean on the crutch of having KD on your team and just running everything through him every night. Like, it's got to be so hard to not just do that, especially when Sengun's been down.
Well, definitely, and I think that it's Kevin Durant. I mean, he's 37. You have to be able to figure it out. Like, that's what Ime's job is to do here. And obviously, Kevin Durant's a Superman. He's going to try his best, but he just can't do it he's not 10 years ago. He can't do it every night.
No.
If anybody ever could. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a weird situation for the Rockets. I think that is going to, obviously, we talked about it all year. It's going to be their Achilles heel, figuring out what happens to that guard role in clutch.
Yeah, I feel like it's interesting. I've not really seen them be loud at all. Like, you're not really seeing them in these tweets. Maybe it's just because I get so much Celtics stuff that it drowns it out. But I'm not really like seeing them like on the market, like linked to people. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not really seeing that they're calling people at least yet. We're not at the deadline, but
it's also like
not heard any buzz.
What would you be willing to give up off of that team to go get a guard? Because right now, like, Amen's almost untouchable. You're not trading KD because you just traded everything for him.
You're not trading Jabari Smith.
Jabari Smith's a fucking stud, yeah.
Like, just re-upped him. Probably not trading Steven Adams. You're not trading Sengun.
And your bench
Tari Eason.
Yeah. I really like Tari Eason. I feel like him and Jabari Smith having, like, them being able to, like, swap out for each other is, like, pretty close.
They also have a slew of picks, too.
They have picks left after trading for KD?
I think.
They gave up a
I
bunch
think so.
And they got some people like Finney Smith, and I'm looking right now, and Okogie. Like, those are good players, but they wouldn't like destroy your identity if you traded them.
They have enough capital to like make a move if they could make a splash, or they could do something to paste it over. But
just Okogie and Finney Smith trading, like, what does that get you though? Like,
I mean, could get you CJ McCollum.
You need a ball handler, but like, is it going to get you a good enough one for the playoffs?
How about just play Reed Shepard in the clutch? I mean, the reason I say Tari Eason,
100%, I agree with you. Play Reed Shepard, but like if you needed another ball handler, like, I don't know.
Maybe like someone like Trey Jones, or someone like not crazy, someone that's just like a very like mid to low tier NBA player that just can handle it on the bench at least. Like
Garland's fucking killing it though for the
Bulls.
Pelicans. Oh, who am I thinking of on the Bulls?
No, he's not killing it.
He's doing
Mateus
fine.
Buzelis,
Well, who am I thinking of on the Pelicans? I'm losing my mind.
Ivan Fears.
Well, there's Trey somebody that's been like on
Oh,
fire.
Murphy?
Trey Murphy, that's what I'm thinking
Yeah,
of.
yeah. But a lot of people are.
Well, he's probably going to get moved, but to a place where it really matters.
Yeah,
He'll
one
end
of
up
the
being like a
contenders.
Laker somehow or something like that, and then he won't get used well enough, and then he'll fade off into free agency.
He would be a good fit for the Lakers.
Be great fit for the Lakers, but you know, like the only problem with the Lakers is that they have three guys already that are just ball dominant guys.
You see, LeBron came out and like had to say something because Rich Paul was talking about trading. I think Reeves.
Jeez.
He had to come out and deny it. Rich Paul is a host or a co-host on one of the Ringer's new podcasts with
Max
Max Kellerman.
Which, like, if I'm LeBron, I'm like, dude,
Shut up.
You're not doing any fucking podcasts. Like, do you like having me as a client? Do you like all the hundreds of millions of dollars you've made off of me? You're not doing any podcasts while I'm in the league.
You think Rich Paul? I think Rich Paul's probably strong enough to survive a LeBron exit now.
At
Probably
this point, yeah, he's like the bank. He's too big to fail. Like,
Yeah,
he's got like everybody.
he's also fucking married to Adele, I think, too. So like, he's good. To
Oh
go.
yeah. Forgot about that. That's hilarious.
Also, Max Kellerman and Rich Paul.
I like Max Kellerman.
I think he's funny as hell.
Call himself the Dikembe Mutombo of takes or something like that.
He calls himself like the Muhammad Ali of takes. Or
No, he called himself like
he's a
Muhammad.
big fan. He knows a lot about boxing.
Oh, he's huge into boxing. His brother, tragically, I think, was killed by a boxer.
Oh, that's tough.
His brother was a trainer.
Stephen A. Smith in the debates too, which was hilarious. He used to get Stephen A. Smith. This is great.
No, yeah, that really was the downturn of Stephen A. It was like when he like kind of quit on like debating almost when he like fired. Yeah, it definitely seemed like he just didn't want to battle Max because Max always got the best of him. It was definitely seemed like an insecure move when he was fired.
Yeah, he said he did it.
Now he's calling fucking
person every day, but it's really because you just want to bring in a bunch of people that aren't as like well versed in debating you on live TV every day.
I mean, Stephen A. is ESPN, right? Like he is them.
Yeah,
which is so gross. He's such a right-wing grifter now. It's fucking unbelievable. And they still
why? What gave it away? Calling Christian Kirk Charlie Kirk? NFL wide receiver Christian Kirk. Yeah, Christian Kirk balled out in the Houston win, and he called him Charlie, and he fixed it immediately. Oh my god.
Yeah, and he also was like fucking talking about how the ICE agent was correct in shooting that lady or something like that, and then the event still has him on the platform. It's like, what are we doing?
Well, because they've hitched their wagon to him. He is them. It's almost like how Barstool goes the way of Portnoy. I mean, it kind of sucks to talk about ESPN that way because ESPN was like the flagship, right, of sports. And for me, it still kind of holds that nostalgic effect. But like, there's much better programming elsewhere.
Yeah, like Prime, dude. Prime is killing it. The NBA wise.
I mean, I like the Ringer shit. I know the Ringer, but I like Tim Legler's podcast. I like the the NBA Ringer show. Oh, I forget what the other show. The guy who's the Grizzlies reporter.
No, the guy.
House? No, that's not no. House is Washington. Yeah,
I know the guy. He's fucking great at his job.
I just listened to his podcast today. Is that 2 hour podcast? It's great. It's great stuff.
I know what you're talking about because he talks about the Grizzlies a lot, and I do like him too. I like him in the same way I like House, because that's why I thought of him similarly.
Yeah. So that's but at least they have it inside the NBA now.
No, Legler is like a must listen when I see him on a big pod, especially with Bill. Like Legler is great. He's one of the better basketball minds, I'd say, when it comes to discussing it. Like he's positive, but also very smart about it.
I like Ryan Russillo. I mean, I talk about a guy who went to the enemy. Like, I fucking hate the Barstool move. Obviously, he has professional reasons that made sense for him, and that's fine. I still listen to like his 10 good minute segment, which is ironically always like 45 minutes, where he just breaks down the hot topics. Like, I think Russillo's. I tend to align myself a lot with what Russillo is thinking. We tend to like think of the same thing. Like Trae Young is the big test case. Like he hates Trae Young. I think I'm also out on Trae Young. Like, for the reasons he states. Anyhow, yeah, NBA media, it's a fucking mess, but goddamn it, we're one of them. So, if you're coming to us for the hot takes, good for you. Patriots.
It was
I
the
was at
most
the game.
decisive. It was the most decisive win until last night or 2 nights ago. But
The Texans blew out the Steelers, but I mean, it was not that cold. It was unseasonably warm, but and Drake may play like crap the first half, but boy, did he turn it around. It was electric in that second half, despite it being a 19-3 win. And they move on to the next round where he will be playing the Texans, and they will be tested probably a lot more than what the Chargers did. But guys, the Bruins are the Bruins. One of them, the
Bruins are
Patriots.
evolution.
The Patriots, 15-3 now on the year. What are we thinking?
At least we got it's nice to get the first win out of the way because rookie quarterback coach in first new spot. So it's nice to get that out of the way. First,
and the numbers are always really bad for rookie quarterbacks in playoffs, and Drake May certainly felt that might go that way for 2 quarters, but
yeah. And if he's only going to take one half to get accustomed to this shit, then that's amazing. If that's the little wake up he needed was just one half of football, then we're golden. But I'm just glad it feels like we have. I mean, the Texans did body the Steelers, but it feels like we have a nice little cakewalk to the AFC. I mean, it's just crazy to see Bills versus Broncos on the other side. I'm just like, whew, thank God. I mean, I guess we beat the Bills already, but just. It's nice to see them battle it out, and then we face the victor of that. That's for sure.
I mean, if the Bills were to win the game, that means we win the game. We have home field advantage until the Super Bowl, which would be huge. The Patriots defense has to be the story. The way they play, they let up. I mean, obviously, letting up 3 points against any professional football team is pretty good, but especially one against Justin Herbert, who had just a fucking brutal game. Poor guy was on his back 80% of the time. I mean, he got sacked, I think, at least 8 times. He's already hurt going into the game. I walk away with a ton of respect for him because he never gave up. Even though he had every reason to give up, he was getting his ass kicked all over the field and nothing was happening offensively. And Vrabel got that defense clicking. The offensive line struggled, and that's going to be a huge issue this upcoming week with the Texans, who have an elite pass rush and an elite defense. Going to be really tested offensively. But Drake May, hopefully, obviously the first half of the Chargers game was messy, but in the second half, he had 142 passer rating.
Mm-hmm.
Like he really flicked the switch, and now obviously it's his second game ever in the playoffs, but the jitters should sort of be simmering off, and hopefully he can get like that game. The Patriots probably should have won that game 27-7. That they had so many. He missed an open touchdown pass to Austin Hooper, and he just kind of had some uncharacteristic flubs, but he did enough to win the game. And yeah, I think this is the year in the NFL where anybody can do it. Anybody can do it, including the Patriots.
Yeah, isn't it nice too when you get the signing just pay off so well, like with the Milton Williams last game with that last sack, just is like an emphatic like fuck yes. It's so nice when you see a big signing pay off like in the playoffs like that. It's just awesome. He was going off.
He's sneaky our most important player going forward. Like besides Drake May, obviously, like he defensively, he's one of the most impactful in the playoffs.
I'm just thankful that the Eagles had one of the crazier rosters ever coming off last year because, we kind of just snagged them. But do you have any information on Gonzo? Because that is a huge thing to think about.
He was in the concussion protocol. I obviously, as the week goes along, we'll probably see. He's tough. He's done this before this season alone, where he's battled back to play. I think he'll be a go. Positive news for the Patriots, negative for the Texans, and bad overall is that Nico Collins, their stud receiver, pretty badly concussed at the end of that game and most likely won't play.
Gotcha.
Especially considering now that he played a day later than Gonzo. So
I was gonna say that at least helps our like if we didn't have Gonzo, that's for sure. Because the Chargers didn't punish us, but the announcers kind of mentioned like they kind of described what would happen to the defense when Gonzo left. We like off man as much because Gonzo can just lock up their number one. It definitely looked like we were struggling a little bit more, but the Chargers didn't do anything about it. That's for sure.
I mean, Gonzo is a top 5 cornerback in the league, I think. I don't think it's crazy to say that. Like this season, he just shuts down an entire half of the field.
Yeah.
Throwing the ball. And he did it against the Chargers. And hopefully he can do it against whoever the Christian Kirk, the Charlie, don't call me Charlie, call me Christian Kirk against the Texans. But there's a lot of like interesting tidbits going into this week about who. I think the defense should feast on the Texans' offensive line, and if you can get who's their quarterback? Jesus,
CJ Stroud.
Yes,
C.J. Stroud, happy feet. It's going to be a long game for him, and they don't have that great of a running game either.
Yeah, we're not playing. Aren't we playing the 4 p.m.? So Steve, right? Aren't we? Because we're not. Bills Broncos just definitely have the late game, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So there you go, Steve. You can watch this one.
Get in while the getting's good, dude. Drake May gonna
knows?
take us all the way to the show.
Maybe I'll have Monday off too. Who knows?
You don't? That's a federal holiday.
We have so many commercial accounts. Like I don't really get to have these holidays off.
True. Yeah. I mean, listen, if the Patriots go and get stopped this upcoming week, I don't project that to happen. In fact, I think the opposite would be more likely to occur. It's just been a great year. I mean, 8 months ago we were drafting 4th overall, and this year we are legit. We have a legitimate MVP and candidate, and won 14 games, and are now into the second round of playoffs. It's just been everything. Everything past winning 8 games was icing on the cake.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was thinking like the highest we like our ceiling this year was just making the playoffs for the first time in a bit. You know, like I literally that not being like not fighting for the 1 seed. Like yeah, like we're just playing with house money now when it comes to like optimism and like fun for the season. That's for sure. Like we did not.
I mean, winning the division was like that's just crazy.
Yeah.
To do that.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I bet so many people had us maybe a bottom seed in the playoffs, but so. I would bet like less than 10%, less than 5% said we'd win the AFC East. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, no, I never saw us going this far.
I know I was talking shit before the season started. I didn't think we were going to be that good this year, and Jesus Christ, we beat the fucking brakes off everybody. But I don't know.
I mean, I think our win total was set at 8.5.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not crazy for you to have thought the Patriots would suck this year. They sucked last year, and obviously
it's
a lot
crazy for me
changed.
to make a fucking prediction one way or another when I don't fucking watch football. That's
Well,
like me saying, "Hey, the New England Revolution this year, they're not going to be that great, dude." I don't know.
Lord knows that hasn't stopped you before. Speaking of watching, go Pats! But the movie we were reviewing today, Annihilation, 2018. Directed by Alex Garland, is a cosmic horror film loosely based on the Jeff Vandermeer novel, starring Natalie Portman and Oscar Isaac. Guys, Annihilation.
Could have used more Oscar Isaac. I think that everything could use more Oscar Isaac.
Okay.
Jacob, what did you think?
It was a crazy movie. First time I ever saw it, so just trying to figure out what the hell was going on. It's definitely a clusterfuck in the brain. Like just trying to figure out what's going on with the Shimmer. Like why, like what's going on, like why the past crew devolved in what's happening to the new one. It was a fun watch. Like I honestly it'd be hard like trying to think of an actual score. We'll obviously talk about that at the end, but it's a movie I think I'll think about more than it. Like I think it was a good movie, but I think it also makes you. I'll be thinking about it more than the actual quality, just because of how confusing it was. You know what I mean? It'll stick with me a bit. But yeah, no, just the ending was absurd. Just everything about it was absurd. It was a fun ride though, in my opinion.
Yeah. So Lena, Natalie Portman's character, let's just give you a synopsis of the plot. A cellular biologist professor and former soldier is grieving her husband, Kane, played by Oscar Isaac, who disappeared a year earlier in a top-secret mission. He unexpectedly returns home, but is disoriented and quickly falls into a state of multiple organ failure. And to save him, Lena and 4 other women, a psychologist, a physicist, a geomorphologist, and a paramedic, go into something called the Shimmer, which is on the panhandle of Florida in a national reserve that's slowly been growing over the past couple of, I think 3 years, they said, and expanding. So from there, you go on essentially a trip into the abyss, and you have morphed alligators with teeth like sharks. You have beautiful shimmery colors of moss and different plant species growing on the same vine. There's something clearly off in the Shimmer that's causing the DNA of the local biome to kind of meld together and causing humans to lose their mind that go in there or die if they come out. From there, what do you guys think this movie's about? Like grand, big picture stuff. What do you think this is about?
Self-destruction.
Okay.
I feel like that was one of the main themes.
Yeah, no, I was going to say something similar, like the self-destruction, like your own like past. a lot definitely seemed like they're trying to link like the marriage failing to the situation at hand. It's self-destruction, like the cancer aspect of self-destruction of DNA getting affected. But yeah, I don't know. What would you say, Cody? I'm trying to honestly wrap my head around that.
So Alex Garland, he read the novel and he said this adaptation is like based off of a dream he had about it, and it differs from the book in a lot of ways. Mainly, the cast doesn't have names, like they're all their positions, and it's still 4 women going into a different something that's not a shimmer but like a quarantine zone. It differs, but Garland often bases his adaptations, we saw with Ex Machina, on a philosophical premise or question. Ex Machina was the Turing test. It basically examines that and what identity is, and when does a human being become, or when does a machine become what we deem human. This movie is essentially the philosophical premise of the ship of Theseus. Have you guys heard of this?
Is that when there's a ship and the ship's slowly degrading and you're replacing pieces of the ship exactly as they are, but they're brand new pieces? And at what point is it no longer the ship? At what point is it a new ship, or is it still the same old ship?
Right. So it's an examination of identity, right? And along with, as with a lot of Garland's projects, but this one's themed around. So the ship of Theseus is a Plutarch legend. The hero comes back on the ship. Theseus, the hero, comes back on a ship from slaying the Minotaur. The Grecians around him preserve the ship as a memorial. But the ship, it's a physical thing. It's a real thing. The wood on the planks start to like rot, and it gets old and decrepit, and they replace parts as they go over the years, and to the point where the entire ship is now reconstituted by things that were not originally on the ship when it came back to where Plutarch or where Theseus was from. So it's what is the ship of Theseus? Would it be a new boat constructed out of all the rotting wood, or is it the boat that's being memorialized, even though it's fully constituted by things that were not on it originally? It's an exploration of identity, like I said. So that's the basic premise, and this goes a step further and adds the layer of human condition and self-destruction, the tendency of, even in nature, biology, autophagy, the cells dying and replacing every 7 years. There's things beyond our control that essentially that we're destroying ourselves. Our cells are literally every 7 years, as a part of this biological process. We grow old and we die. That's a form of annihilation, self-destruction. We expedite the process by engaging in behaviors that at the time we don't think are, like smoking, having a Zyn, drinking, eating fast food. We eventually we put ourselves unwillingly on a path of self-destruction, and every character here has their own version of it. You have the person, I forget what her name was, but she was the person who had cut herself. She cut herself.
The drug
and
addict
I want to talk
too.
about her again as we go on. Yeah, the drug addict. Yep, and she kind of gives in to the thing. Her ending's beautiful, but Natalie Portman, she cheated on Oscar Isaac, and yeah, she destroyed. It's kind of hard to. I'm going to go so deep into the film, but every character is basically overcoming something. The main lady has literal cancer that's destroying her, and she knows it's happening, but what is her it's about making choices in the face of destruction, knowing the fact that you're going to be different than when you entered. I guess, how do you approach it? And whether you fight it directly, like Venator, whatever her name is, Venator, the leader, whether you fight it but you outsmart it, like Natalie Portman, whether you give into it, like the recovered drug addict, or you're killed by it like the other people. Either way, who you were is no longer exists, because you're there now. Whether you survived it, whether you died, whether you're whatever, that person you were is no longer there. And that's what this movie's about. It's literally annihilation. It's self-annihilation, and what that means, and what constitutes your identity post and pre.
Yeah, and it's interesting too to like mirror that with like all of, like the nature outside, like the biome, like rapidly evolving too, like around the humans kind of degrading, or maybe it's just because they're fighting against evolution. That's why the humans are not like going like evolving in the crazy way that the animals are. They're like self-destructing when it starts to happen, and because we like in killing each other and stuff like that. Like once the evolving and adapting starts to happen with the DNA, like I don't know, maybe it's like a human versus nature type theme there as well.
On its face, for sure, but this isn't natural to Earth. It's it's an alien species. But the who, what, when, and why of the destruction, the thing that's causing the causal effect of annihilation, is not really the point. We all do it. Its destruction is inevitable.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the human condition. And what I like is the choices that are made, what it means to survive it. Doesn't matter if you survive it. If so, why? And where do you go from there? And I think the ending scene is really beautiful because she sees her husband again, who you find out is a fully reconstructed form from the entity, because her original husband, the one that went into the Shimmer, killed himself by lighting a phosphorus grenade and immolated. But the thing that came out was a replication of him. And she went out, and we don't know if she survived. It's presumed she did, but they go and they basically meet each other again for the first time, and their eyes are both shimmering, and it doesn't really matter because who they were is done. They'll never be that again. They're who they are now. And that's a positive way to look at it. Garland tends to write more like pessimistic. This delves a bit into like the philosophical playbook of nihilism, cosmic nihilism, all that. What you do in the face of the fact that you're insignificant and the universe does not care about you and will destroy you one way or the other. It's a fascinating examination of it.
Yeah, I'd be interested to know too, because like when she'd walk through the Shimmer, it'd show her own self-destructive moments, like the infidelity. Like she'd get flashbacks. I wonder if the other characters were like getting like their own moments like that, and if that's like just what the Shimmer does. Like it shows you your worst parts and like kind of breaks you down like that.
Well, they each approach it differently. Most of them are fighting directly the cause of an immediate harm, whether it be a bear that is morphed in, or a gator that drags you in, or whatever. The lady with cancer, obviously, she's going to fight to the bitter end. She figures out the why or what is causing this issue, but it doesn't matter because she gets blown into smithereens and is annihilated. Natalie Portman also figures out what happened to her husband and why, and wins essentially. She's like the net positive good or whatever. I forget what they call them. They have like the neutral evil, whatever. There's versions of this. Each one is different, but the one that I liked the most was what is her name? I gotta remember her name. The drug addict, Tessa Thompson, great actress. Her sort of blissful just acceptance that whether she could make it, she might not make it, what happened before they got her there, what's her issues. She just sort of blissfully accepts it, and she turns into something beautiful, like literally a human of like skeletal formation of flowers. And that's something I really wanted to talk about this film in particular that stood out to me was the beauty in the Annihilation, the beauty in it. The Shimmer is inherently beautiful. It's a kaleidoscope of colors. The animals are vibrant colors, different, cool looking, dangerous, whatever you want to call it. The deer are beautiful. There's
Weird
beauty
ass
in
trees.
the destruction. Yeah,
I like
there's beauty in it.
the guy in the pool after like they found like the corpse of what was left of him, and like the head was like ripped in half, and it was like,
That's gnarly, but it's beautiful in
but
its own
like then
right.
it had like the blooming like purple behind it and everything like that, and it looked
Yeah,
almost
the
like a scene out
fungi.
of Midsummer, like how like the flowers were so just beautiful and vibrant, took your eyes away from the terrible thing that you're looking at almost.
It's interesting. I do feel like it's sort of Midsummer, sort of not took from it, but it sort of has that in it. There's a kinship between these two movies about what you've just said, is that it's like bright punches of color in a place that's very foreign and bad shit's happening all around you. There's
Yeah.
beauty in the annihilation and the destruction and
Beauty
the
of all that, like, takes
pessimism.
away from it. Like, you're not paying attention to the terrible thing that's going on because of the beauties. Like, the scene where they get taken out by the alligator, like, they're admiring the flowers and the beauty of it, and then the alligator comes in. And the one crazy theory that I had was that I'm not even 100% sure all those people that she went in with existed, and they weren't just like they're all versions of her. Like the self-destructiveness of it. Like she says she always wears long sleeves, and like Natalie Portman in like the entire movie basically is wearing long sleeves other than flashbacks. Then you had I don't remember what the character's name was, but the one that tied them to the chairs, like she had a tattoo of the snake eating itself on her. And then if in the end of the movie, Natalie Portman has the same tattoo. Lena has the same tattoo at the end of the movie.
It's fascinating that you bring it. I think that's how the novel ends. The book where it's based off of. I don't think you're supposed to take that away from this movie. I think the one big lingering kind of like theory question is, was that her that made it out? Or was that the apparition thing that made it out? because she gets knocked out by it, and then she's unconscious for a bit. You don't see what happens. Obviously, you see that her eyes are shimmering when she's back. So was that really her?
Do you catch the
That's
water too?
Yeah, the water was different.
I saw it on the rewatch.
I was like,
Yeah.
that was
and I just thought it was strange. Like, yeah. Go ahead, Jacob.
I was gonna say before the eye moment at the end, I was already saying that she's a clone just because, when she like drank the water, it clearly mutated a little. So I was like, So then the eye thing, I was like, oh, okay, yeah. She must have, if that is the case, they must have swapped during when she was knocked out, because she was knocked out for a period. So we don't have that accounted for, which would have been when they made the swap.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like there's also like all the characters that she's with all have like parts of her in them almost. Like
Yeah, maybe we're not all so different.
Yeah, and like I feel like they were all either just tropes of her, like different emotions going through all of this, or something like that. But then also at the end, we don't know if she switched with the alien, but the alien at the end like destroys everything, like self-destructive, like knows it's on fire, knows it's like, and just starts destroying everything around it. So like that's how she is as a person, like as we've seen throughout the movie. She's very self-destructive. And like maybe that's her in there as the alien destroying everything, and the alien just is now the one that we know.
I don't think it's I don't think it's supposed to be that individualistic of a character study. I think it doesn't. The thing you're supposed to walk away with is everybody is the bringer of their own self-destruction in one way or the other, whether it literally be Natalie Portman blowing up her marriage because she wanted, we don't know why she did it, but she cheats on her husband. She blows up her marriage, her relationship. That is the cataclysmic event. And, in her journey, she goes, she comes back, she does all this stuff, but it doesn't matter because she's different than who she was. Oscar Isaac's different than who she was because of the cataclysmic event. Anytime you face strife, the way you go in is never how you're going to come out. I think that's how you're supposed to view this. Even if you don't come out, some people might literally die on their way on the cataclysmic event. Other people might lose themselves. It's just supposed to be an examination on if things are all melded, if we're all like the flower motif was the thing I wanted to talk about. The flowers are all growing on the same vine, but they're all different. They're the same biologically, but they're different. So when you start to take away the biological factors of what makes you different, like what is identity? What makes you you and me? It's supposed to be a look of, what identity is and what happens to it when it disintegrates, I think.
I can definitely see that.
Yeah, I think you're looking at it a little too and you
Well, I see the
extrapolate that
bigger
to
picture
real life.
that you're talking about. I definitely see the bigger picture of like, hey, we're all of us have our own identity, but we're all connected in some way. But like,
Yeah.
just finding yourself in your own space. But I definitely see that your view on that, and I'm not saying you're wrong with that. I'm just saying like for the movie plot wise, like her swapping with the alien and the alien being self-destructive and destroying itself was seemed like maybe that's how they got away with the switch of her and the alien being the one that's coming out, and maybe she's the alien destroying everything herself in the end, destroying the lighthouse. And because like there was no reason for the alien to do that unless it was her, or like took her biology. Because like at one point the professor says to her, or the doctor says to her, like, is all about being self-destructive, like it's in your biology, right? So if the aliens are stealing your biology because it stole her blood, maybe that's her as an alien destroying everything.
I mean, for plot purposes, maybe.
Yeah. I don't mean it like deeper than anything other than the plot.
Yeah, the point is that if you extrapolate the main everybody's strife is that we're all self-destructing in one way, and it's like we all are going to face cataclysm at one point in time, strife, struggle, whatever you want to call it, and due to oftentimes caused by our own stuff, it's supposed to be like, I guess it's just supposed to be an examination of how you're never supposed to be different than when you went in. That's just what it is. That's like what I think the main philosophical meat of this is.
The tattoo thing still like trips me out though, like, or having the matching tattoo, and they clearly tried to show off her having the tattoo at the end. Like they asked her about it.
Yeah, definitely.
Then,
I didn't even catch that. In the
it was
first
present
moment.
as hell for sure.
Yeah, like they asked Lena about it. Benedict Wong's character asked her, and but they never showed that the other girl had it except for like just in flashes. Like you would just see it on her arm. So it was just an odd connection between the two of them, which I wasn't sure about, whether she was imagining all these people and they were just different parts of her like personality splitting off while she was in the Shimmer.
Yeah, I mean, and I think this film, it's a bit slow to start, just on a production basis. I think it's very well written. Obviously, it's beautiful, and I think the last 30 to 20 minutes is like must-watch TV. When she enters the lighthouse and the score flicks from that like creepy that was popular on TikTok.
I never knew what that was from. I heard that.
That's
I
what
was
it's
like,
from.
did I leave my phone on?
It's like a beautiful interpretive dance that you're watching. It's just fantastic.
Yeah,
It's like that was a
so
chef's
great to
kiss
watch.
moment.
It was so great to watch the mirroring of what she was doing.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
freaky.
Did you do this before or after Black Swan?
He never did Black Swan was Darren Aronofsky.
No, I'm talking about Natalie Portman.
Has to be after.
This
right?
was after. Black Swan, I think, was 2011 or 2010.
Okay, because I was gonna say because it was very like ballet almost the way that they were like mirroring each other in a way.
Balletic, yeah. It's like interpretive. You're literally watching like an interpretive dance on screen. There's no talking. There's no dialogue besides screams and grunts. Yeah, beautiful. What do you guys give it? Besides the fact that it's an interesting premise, it's a beautifully well done film.
Yeah, that really, the beauty of the film really dragged up. Like there was the beginning scene when she first looks at the Shimmer and you can see it in her eyes. Like that was crazy. I'd probably give it a 4, maybe 3.5, 4.
Yeah, I'll do 3.8.
I'm going 4. Garland, obviously, I love everything the guy does. I'm just in on Alex Garland.
How about that bear scene too? That was as soon as I heard her voice, I knew it was gonna be one of those like a Mockingjay type situation. I was like, it's not her. Don't open the door. And then
it's genuinely creepy. First I
Oh.
know because the bear's head's all bone and shit. It's fucking horrifying.
That's
That's
so-
like where it tends to dip into like sci-fi horror. I'm glad it kind of
More.
keeps aspects of that.
Yeah, like the one part where you see that they find the VHS tape of not the VHS tape, but the micro, whatever you want to call
whatever,
it,
the video recording
cutting the guy's fucking stomach open and seeing the stuff like
oozing
fucking,
out of him.
like
around him.
moving around in there and shit. Like that was sick.
It was great. Great film. So that's Alex Garland 2018's Annihilation. Great. We're going to continue on to the Alien month, and Steve, your next film you picked was District 9, Neil Blomkamp's 2009 science fiction action film starring Sharlto Copley. That's the pick.
I haven't seen that movie in a long time. It seems very prescient of what's going on at the times that we're going
Especially
through.
in American politics.
So seems like something. The prawns. Yeah, I remember it being a pretty fucking gross movie some parts, but
The aliens are like aliens is bugs.
bug aliens.
Great film. I mean, I feel like it's a seminal event in like our generation. It'd be like, did you see District 9?
that was awesome.
This was like the movie. In middle school, people were like, dude, you had to see it. That movie was sick. Obviously, now as full-fledged adults, hopefully we can derive a little bit more understanding and philosophical analysis. Then this movie's fucking sick, dude.
Yeah, I remember loving when he was able to use the alien weapon and all that. Like that as a kid, I was like, oh fuck yeah, he's going against the military and he has the alien arm now, so he can control the gun. Like yeah, there's definitely way more motifs and such to pull from than just the cool effects of it. Because from what I remember, it's a very well made movie in that way. Like the CGI and effects look great.
Yeah, I was looking up the top 200 movies on IMDb that were alien movies, and it was like number 7 or something like that.
That's pretty crazy.
That what was number 1 had to be Alien.
I think it was.
Not E.T.
E.T. must be in
like
the top
4.
5.
Yeah, I was gonna say because that's the most
I was
romantic.
just looking for ones that I've like seen or heard of that I was like interested in watching, and it was a very slim list.
Steve didn't get too far in the list. He got to 7.
You know, it's a self-destruction, aliens, and annihilation, dude. Well, don't watch the NBA because we're literally watching it happen with Victor Wembanyama. He has come to destroy planets, and he just might do it.
Yeah, he's our Thanos.
Yeah. So District 9, that's your film for this week. Guys, before we go, anything to say to the people? Go Pats. Go Seas.
The Celtics org, make some smart moves. Nothing dumb.
This team
Don't
does
trade
make
for Ja.
dumb things, so
Just keep on doing what you're doing. It's working.
even if you don't make trades, we're being dreamers here. If there's nothing comes to fruition that's worth doing, then don't do it.
Even if we don't make trades, we're still adding an MVP caliber player to the roster. It's like, sweet.
I know we're
Send it in.
we're privileged in that. That's for sure.
So go C's, go Pats, go B's, go Red Sox, go all of them. Feel better, JT. Chill out, JB. You'll get what's coming to you. Just keep doing what you're doing, pal.
Love you.
Love you. Bye.
Feel better, guys.
Bye.